Good old Super Mario. He's pretty famous, you know? He's famous for running, jumping, saving the princess, and collecting power-ups. But not all power-ups are good. That should be pretty obvious. But while some people have personal opinions on which power-ups are good and which are bad, I, Burrhead2, how's it going by the way, have transcended such pettiness and declared that the power-ups in Mario games of the 3D variety are bad. Or rather, fundamentally flawed. Why? Well, keep your pants on, man, I'm getting there. First, let's talk about the power-ups in the tried and true 2D Marios. The original Super Mario Bros. Should be a good place to start. There's the Superstar, which gives you temporary invincibility, the Super Mushroom, which gives you an extra hit and the ability to blick blocks, and of course the Fire Flower, which gives you a different color palette and the ability to shoot projectiles. Of course, you never actually need these power-ups to beat the game, they're just there to make life easier. And this is true for all the other 2D Mario games, with a few exceptions here and there, but this is not true of the 3D Mario games. Power-ups in 3D Mario games are, in my extremely humble opinion, more akin to abilities than power-ups. They really don't power you up. It's less of something nice the game gives you, and more of, hey, you want to beat the level? Here, use this. Power-ups in 3D Mario games are, unlike 2D Mario games, completely necessary. How about some examples? The wing cap in Mario 64 is pretty fun to use, but also locks power stars, aka game progression, behind its use. Now I don't think it's actually required to use the wing cap to beat the game, but that's just the third of it. Then there's the vanish cap. Completely useless outside of its assigned context. Boy, it sure is nice that I get to walk through a very limited amount of walls. But then there's the metal cap. It's not that bad, although it still kinda sucks. I mean, walking underwater is a cool concept, although, again, it's completely useless outside of its assigned context. There is no reason to use it except to collect a star. The fact that these power-ups actually have a purpose means that they don't really leave anything up to the imagination. It almost, in a way, discourages exploration, and it doesn't help that they're all timed and that you don't have access to them all in every level. What about Mario Sunshine? Well, given that Sunshine's progression is linked to completing the 7th episode in every level and not collecting a certain amount of shines, it gets a pass for me. Not entirely, though. Most of my dissatisfaction comes from Yoshi. Again, Yoshi is just an ability that the game gives you to complete the level, but Sunshine's not that bad, at least in this department. You know what Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine have in common? They're both sandbox games. That means you at least have the option to mess around with these power-ups. Unlike Super Mario Galaxy, Galaxy's more linear level design almost seems to make this issue worse. If you're presented with a power-up, the only reason to use it is so you're able to progress. You can't even move backwards most of the time, and even if you wanted to, you'd have no reason to. But it gets worse with Galaxy 2. Due to its even more linear level design, Yoshi comes back being even more of an ability, and even has his own power-ups which are even more contextually dependent. Even Odyssey has this issue, although it's not that bad. The captures are still pretty useless outside of what they're supposed to do, but Odyssey being a sandbox game with lots of nooks and crannies certainly does help. Okay, I've made it pretty clear that I think that the 3D Mario power-ups are bad because they're required to beat the games. Well, that's not really true, but drama makes things much more interesting. So how about one more question? Why are the power-ups this way? Well, I've got a theory. In the 2D Marios, your base actions consist of running and jumping, and, well, jumps and ground pounds in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. But in the 3D Marios, your base actions consist of running, jumping, wall jumps, ground pounds, crouching, crawling, backflips, diving, and oh so much more. It seems to me that because you have a lot more actions to start with, you need less things to get you new abilities. But there's still a few things your base set of actions don't have, like walking underwater. Either that, or they just shoehorn something in. But that's just a theory! So hey, now you're at the end of the video. Fantastic. I'm actually, not reading off of my, little script here, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to say. But speaking of talking, why don't you do them likes, them subscribes, and all them commenting? Here, I'll wait. Thank you.